Good afternoon, guys. Hey, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly video update for Wednesday, October the 30th. We're almost at the end of the month, and we have just kind of plowed right into the middle of earnings season. We got a lot going on, so we'll jump in it here with the S&P. As we know, or you may not know, we had a Fed meeting today, and the Fed cut rates as expected. This was the third rate cut in a row from the Fed, and there was, if you were keeping up with it, we have the probability of a rate cut, and it was running at 98.3% today. It had been coming up steady out, for the last week or so, from 93, 94, all the way up. So it was pretty much baked in, and as we can see, you can see right here, that was the actual announcement here. We got an initial little fade and then a rally and then a fade, kind of comes back to where we were, and then we get everybody's waiting on the commentary, and basically the Fed said that the economy basically appears to be strong enough not to need further rate cuts in the future. So we start taking off because people are now thinking, well, maybe we're not going to have this awful recession that everyone is anticipating, and global economies may be looking a little bit stronger and so forth. And we continue higher, and in fact, we hit another all-time high. There's a second all-time high in a week for us. Let me isolate this, and I'll show you. We'll do a 5-day chart here. We had 30.47 right here was all-time high, and no, this wasn't. The 30.29 was the previous all-time. Maybe we had another one right there. Anyway, we keep pushing higher and higher and higher. If you watch the video that I did last week, we talked about that, and here's I continue to kind of think the same thing now. That we were at make or break point right here at the all-time high, and I had been thinking that this was previous all-time high, that like some of these previous times, if we cannot get past this level, we fail and could likely come back into these moving averages here or lower. Maybe this is a 200-day, maybe down to here, and try again. But we did get through this, so that actually opens up the door to more upside above us. And in fact, let me show you this. So here's the S&P on a daily chart, and let me zoom in here a little bit. This is from Carolyn, Fibonacci Queen. And as you can see, the range we're looking at now, 3083 to 3102, if we do continue to push higher. Now these little lines here are cycles for timing, timing for a high, actually, as we come into these. And we may or may not get there. We've got to get past 30.50. I have on, this is a daily chart. On smaller time frames, I look at 5-minute, 30-minute, 120-minute charts, different time frames, and you do have levels between here and there to get through. But once we can kind of clear some of those levels, we could potentially have a lot more upside. And in fact, on the ES, let me show you this. Let me bring this over here. And again, we're just talking about the S&P. On the ES, this is a 120-minute chart. I mean, 30.72. So we're at 30.50. This sounds like a crazy, way up there number, but we're at 30.52 right now. That's not that much. And then, of course, that opens the door to, we've actually got a voodoo tree line at 31.18. So again, we could definitely have more upside. Now that being said, we've got some strength in bonds. The yield curve's kind of flattening out. There are a lot of reasons that this market could pull back anytime now. And I have been saying for a while, because I did it. We've done it a couple times. As we get higher and higher, I kind of set some little hedging, and I've got some hedging on to kind of catch things if we do get a pullback, and indeed we might get a flush. I don't know. This was a flush, and ironically, This was a Fed meeting, and we might, we could. Um, I just don't know. We're in, I've been pretty committed to the bullish side off of this low, and now I'm getting more and more uncomfortable with that. I just showed you the potential for more upside, even up to 3100, 3050, up to 3100, 3118, etc. Anywhere in between here. But there are a lot of hurdles, to get us up that high. And more importantly, we've got a lot of earnings. Now we've got Apple today. They haven't reported yet. We got Facebook. A lot of big earnings after the close. A lot of big earnings tomorrow. Etc. We still got a lot of earnings to go. We've got payrolls on Friday, which will tell us a lot. That'll give the Fed a lot more data to look at to give us more direction. We've got Brexit still in the works. That could throw a monkey wrench in the whole mix at any time. China, negotiations could do that as well. So we have to be careful. So again, I am, I'm less bullish. I think it's very, I don't want to say likely, it's very possible we go higher, but the higher we go, the more I'm going to hedge on the downside for the inevitable. Maybe not, maybe not this, but the inevitable, kind of work off some of that and get back, reversion to the mean back down here somewhere. I could see that happening pretty easily. So, just be prepared for that. In either scenario, up or down, this is actually good. It gives us a lot of good things to trade, or a lot of good ways to trade and so forth with a market like this. So we got low vols again. There's a lot we can do here as well. So this again, we have to be more nimble. I'm willing to to jump in and do some things now as this vol comes down, and we kind of get in a position where we're can have some swings. I don't have any particular stocks in mind, simply because the fact that we're in the middle of earnings season. We obviously do earnings plays. I did a bullish play on Apple today in the main room. We'll see how that turns out. And but other than that, I'm just kind of waiting until kind of the dust settles after some of these earnings, and then jump back in and see what we can do. So that is what I've got today for you on the overall market and the S&P, and I hope this makes sense and helps, and I will see you guys at the next update. Oh, and join us in the trading room. And also, I forgot to mention, let me mention this, for you guys that trade with TG is doing a class coming up that's going to be, he has a Moxie indicator. Now TG trades stocks, right? And he's got strategy class, indicators, scans for toss, live trading, a lot of good things going on. I was a stock trader for a long time. I still trade stocks, but when I managed much larger portfolios, I traded primarily stocks. So I'm real interested in seeing what TG does. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. Works here with us. So try to catch that out. Check that out, and be sure to make that if you can. It's going to be the live trading. It's going to be 4th, 7th, and 12th. The class is going to be on November 2nd, so it's coming up. So try to check that out, and good luck with your trading. So thanks for the time, and I will talk to you soon.